Hey everybody, it's Mike, and welcome to Chip Damage. And hot on the heels of our unboxing video of the Bayonetta 3 Trinity Masquerade Edition, we are already doing another unboxing. I was lucky enough to receive the Sega Genesis Mini-2 today in the mail. Yes, I was lucky enough to be able to order this through Amazon.com, which is one of the only official ways to get this in North America, is to order this from Amazon, which shipped from Japan ostensibly, because this entire box, as you're about to see, is displayed in English, as well as a number of other languages, but there is no actual Japanese on this. And I'm very excited to be going over this today. I love the mini consoles over the last couple of years, despite their scarcity. When you actually get your hands on one, they're a pretty cool item to have. They're easy to hook up, and they're good for people who maybe aren't hugely into games to kind of jump back into them, but they're also nice collector's pieces. And what I truly love about some of them, starting with the Super Nintendo Mini, is the fact that some exclusive unreleased games come out on them. Star Fox 2 being the famous example on the Super Nintendo Mini, and Tetris on the Sega Genesis Mini, along with Mega Man: The Wily Wars getting a wide release. And that seems to be the case with what we have here, the Sega Genesis 2 Mini. To begin, yes, these were $100 US to pre-order, which is a lot of money. And let's find out if it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be, but let's take a good look at this box, shall we? So as you can see here, it is actually the Genesis 2 model that this is based off of, instead of the Genesis 1 model, which the prior Genesis Mini was based on. And it's got that classic United States, that American Genesis branding. No Mega Drive here for my European homies. I'm sorry, guys. This is the Genesis. I like both names. Both roll off the tongue. Sega Mega Drive and Sega Genesis, both like kind of alliterative and rhyming. But, you know, listen to my accent. I'm an American. I prefer the Genesis. But yeah, and you get the 6-button controller, it would look like, which was kind of a contentious point against the original Genesis Mini that only had the 3-button controller, but you're getting that good 6-button controller. And what does it say on the box there in the front? Well, you get a Genesis Mini 2 console, one wired control pad, a USB power converter, and a power cable. All right, so you can plug it in. That's good. But just getting the good look, it's got that old school 90s Sega branding, which is fantastic. And just as a note, this is an incredibly tiny box. When this arrived, I was shocked to see how small this is. This is only 6.5 inches long and just about 5 inches tall. Let's compare that to the Genesis 1 box, just for comparison's sake. Like, this is tiny in comparison. So yeah, storage is not going to be an issue with this thing. But yeah, just showing it off. More of that branding. And on the back is what you what you really want to see, right? You got a list of all games, 60 games. You know, for $100, 60 games is a pretty good deal. And you got a show of some of the covers on there of the more famous titles. The Sega CD titles included, like Sonic CD, Night Trap, and Sewer Shark, along down there with the Genesis titles like Super Street Fighter 2, Splatterhouse, and Outrun. And yeah, it's got the full list on the side there, which you can look up online, but it's nice that they're all displayed here. That is a lot of games. And I like how they divide them up here. It shows you right here the standard Genesis titles that you get, which is the majority of the collection. Some of these are fantastic gets, though, particularly Crusaders of Senti. That's like it's one of the rarest North American Genesis games. It's like a Zelda clone of high quality. You got Splatterhouse 2, which is up there in value, and just some fantastic other titles like Vector Man 2 and Earthworm Jim 2. Yeah, there's some good famous games here. Also some cult hits like Restar, which were missing from the original Genesis collection, and Sonic 3D Blast, which has grown on me, you know. It's a good game. But what's really interesting is right here showing off the exclusive games ostensibly being released with this package, or at least in North America to the extent of my knowledge. Devil and Pie, P, Fantasy Zone 1, I suppose, Splatter, Space Harrier 2, Starmobile, Super Locomotive, and Versus Puyo Puyo Sun, S-U-N. I'm not familiar with some of these titles, have to look into them. And then you get your list of Sonic CD titles, which is a big reason I picked this up. I have a Sega CD, as you guys may know from my prior videos, but some of these titles are just out of my price range, like Final Fight CD. I almost picked this up at a convention like a month ago for like $200. I'm glad I waited. That's a good get. That's a great alternate version of Final Fight with some extra bells and whistles. Sonic the Hedgehog CD, no matter where you get it, is a great game, just recently released in Sonic Origins, but the more Sonic CD, the better. And yeah, this is a nice little package, and I'm really glad Sega decided to do this. Apparently it was pretty limited, especially here in the US, but I'm glad that they did this. The mini craze is kind of over. This is a little late in the game, but this is a good package, especially for, most people who missed out on the Sega CD. And a lot of the better Genesis games are expensive these days. They weren't first-party games. They're kind of limited. They don't get re-released a lot, so it's good to have them. But let's get this bad boy open, shall we? So this is just how it came in the mail. I have not untaped this yet, so there's no tape on the outside. Easy enough to open up. And look at that. All right, pretty tightly packed in there. And let's see. Let's start with this. All right, looks like you got your USB cable, your charge or your connector cable. Yep, and with the Sega branding on that. USB looks right there, just to show your all the ends. I like that they were consistent with the Sega branding. What you got here? You got your HDMI cable, which does not say Sega on it, sadly, but you know, what can you do? Nothing's perfect. But that just looks to be a standard HDMI cable, which is pretty cool that they include it. Sometimes, you know, they make you run out and buy them or assume you have extras with these bundles. What else we got in here? It's all nicely packed away. This looks like the controller. Am I right? Yep. This only comes with one controller opposed to the two from the prior Genesis, but this is nice. Okay. Looks like it's going to be compatible with any USB controller if you have the other modern Genesis controllers or the ones released, the wireless controllers, the third-party ones. Looks like it's gonna be pretty compatible. And it's a nice, man, look at that. Nice, clean controller, old school Sega branding, 6-button. I know here in the West, in the United States, we're more used to the 3-button, but yeah, 6-button's just better, man. It's maybe not as iconic, but how are you gonna play Street Fighter 2 with 3 buttons? Get out of here. You know, you need those 6 buttons. But it's nice. Looks like it's a decent sized cable. It's very sturdy feeling, very old school feeling. I like that. But what else we got in here? Let's get a look at the unit itself, which is all I think that's left. All right, yep, in there. And of course, the plug, the wall plug for the charge, or for the console itself, I should say. Take that right out. Wonder if this is Sega branded as well. That'd be cool. No, just regular plug. That's cool. But yeah, let's see what you got here. And yes, there it is. My goodness, this is small. Yeah, I love this. Genesis 2 was my original system, the first console I ever had. It looked just like this. My older brother had the Genesis 1, you know, and he didn't want to, you know, we lived separately after a while. He was much older than me. My first console was right here, was the Genesis 2, so it's kind of cool to see the first system I ever had mini-ized, really, like properly. You got 2 controller ports right there. I'm fairly certain that the controller is, yeah, it's a bit wider and taller than the unit itself. And just to, you know, test out the tightness of everything. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, nice secure fit. This is beautiful. Look at that. You got the little mini working cartridge slot. I don't know what you could put in there, but it's cool that it works. HDMI out. You got your power, and that's really it. What's this here? Oh, if you want to slide your Sega CD in there, I guess. Look at that. Like that's a nice little touch that they let you do that. No real point to that. Maybe they'll come out with an extension. That'd be cool. I'm glad Sega decided to do this. That's kind of it, guys. Look at, just as a measurement, this very tiny unit, which I will be plugging in. I'll make a video talking about it. It is only 4.5, 4 3/4 inches wide and about the same, maybe 4 1/4 inches long. This, not a large unit, not going to take up much space on the shelf. But this little gizmo here with 60 games, some of them incredibly rare, some of them never released, I'd say it's worth it. But I'll go into a video in the future about it, talking about it. But it's really nice that Sega did this. You know, I'm a Sega boy at heart. I'm always going to get stuff like this if they put it out. And let me know, did you guys pick this up? Did you miss it? Are you excited to play any of the new releases on this? Is there any of the rare titles that you couldn't afford, like myself, or you'd rather just get this and then get the original copy? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk some Genesis, and you know, for my homies overseas, let's talk some Mega Drive. I love talking this. And as always, my name is Mike. This has been Chip Damage. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe. But most importantly, take care of yourselves. Have a great day, everybody.